guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm here at Reeves Volkswagen in Tampa, Florida, and we are gonna touch on a car that for 2019 has some changes. This is a 2019 Volkswagen Passat SE R-Line. Let's talk a little bit about Volkswagen history. Volkswagen was first created all the way back in 1937, if you could believe that. Volkswagen in German means the people's car, and for so many decades it's been exactly that, especially another German word, Fahrvergnügen, a driver's pleasure. This Passat first came on the scene back in 1973, if you could believe that. And over the years, it's changed not only in its shape, but also its size. Today though, in the 21st century, it slots in nicely into that mid-size sedan segment. Now, like I said, there's some changes for 2019. What Volkswagen decided to do was kind of trim out the fat in their Passat lineup, and you basically have two options. This being the top one, they got rid of that beloved V6, that VR6 engine Passat, something that I think some true diehards were upset about, but you know what? When it comes to price and value, you're gonna see that Volkswagen made some adjustments to give you the best of both worlds. So let's go ahead and dive into this 2019 Volkswagen Passat SE R-Line. Right off the bat, I love what Volkswagen is doing with their German styling. They're really taking this horizontal grille into a wonderful direction. Now, out on the corners, the SE R-Line gets full LED headlights and LED taillights. I love the shape, I love the design, especially inside the housing. That chrome ring around the headlights, very, very tasteful. As we work our way down, there are some tasteful fake vents. So we are gonna zonk this. I wish it would go into a side air curtain, but you know what? They're actually very attractive looking, and I think it was super smart to take the silver and bring it into the actual grille. So as we go from top to bottom, same design, little bit of gloss black, and I'm really liking the silver trim. It actually makes the car look lower and wider than what it is. As we pan, you got that traditional Volkswagen emblem, such an iconic emblem. And then one thing I want to focus on, this is the R-Line. So R has been associated, for example, like with the Golf R, that extreme high performance. What a lot of brands are doing, just like Volkswagen, is they're taking that lineage, that history, and creating these packages where you're gonna get some sporty driving experience and some appointments on the outside and inside to increase your Fahrvergnügen, your driving pleasure. But there's that R-Line logo, very tastefully placed and just clean from left to right. As we go up onto the hood, love the body lines. Definitely think it was super smart to put the two in the center, gives the hood a nice shape to it as it goes back towards the front windshield. As we come around the bend here, you can see that gloss black taken into the side, nicely done. And then what you're looking at here, this is a 19-inch wheel. So on the R-Line, you're gonna get 19-inch wheels, nice kind of gunmetal gray, goes awesome with the white color. You can see you got ventilated rotors, very, very clean look, 235 on the width. And when we're looking at the sidewall, it's a 40 series. So very nice setup. It's gonna give you a great driving experience, nice smooth ride. As we go into the fender treatment, I think what I like about Volkswagens is the very distinctive creased body lines. And then of course, always there's gonna be some type of logo on the side. There's that R-Line logo, tastefully placed. I think the placement of it is great, and it just allows people to see that, hey, this is not just a base Passat, this is that SE R-Line. Now, as we go into the side of the car, you can see they got some nice silver trim, nothing too shiny. What I think where they hit the nail right on the head is they took that silver trim, and as we slowly drop down, that silver trim is also on the lower portion of the door. I think that that really gives it a nice cohesive look, and I think what also helps the side of this car out is the lower sill. From front to back, it's got a nice little extension to it and really gives the car, like I said, some extra personality. You have a tasteful sunroof, no panoramic sunroof, but a nice tasteful sunroof. As we work our way back, you can see how the roof line slopes down. You got rear quarter windows, very nicely shaped. And then as we come to the rear, see how I'm talking about those body lines? As we come to the rear, look, that chrome trim picks up again, comes around to the back. There's that upgraded LED taillights. Very tasteful, very clean. A little bit of chrome trim up here. And guess what? You have an actual functioning exhaust, not just a decorated piece. Gloss black on the bottom. My zonk that I'm gonna do back here is that, especially because this is an R-Line, I would like to see dual exhaust. I think that one on each side, I bet you would agree with me, would look extra tasteful. But you know what? It's a very clean, modern look. Let's go ahead, pop the hood, and see what's powering this Passat. All right, guys, we got the hood popped on this R-Line Passat. Looking at that engine, like I said, they slimmed it and trimmed it out. It's that 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine. Now, if you're wondering, well, what kind of power are we looking at? 174 horsepower, 185 pound-feet of torque. If you're wondering, well, what is this thing mated to? It is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. It is power-wise a downgrade from the V6 for sure. But you know what? You're gonna get great MPGs with this car. 25 in the city, 36 in the highway, and a 0 to 60 of about 8.1 seconds. What I like about underneath the hood is you do get a hydraulic strut to keep the hood nicely raised. My zonk, besides the lack in power, I wish it would at least have 220, 228 horsepower like the GTI would be nice. My other zonk is a little too black. I would like to see a silver Volkswagen logo and also some more silver trim. But let's go ahead, fire up this engine and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the 2019 Volkswagen Passat SE R-Line. I know a lot of you are probably saying, well, Joe, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm also thinking about getting a Honda Accord Sport or a Toyota Camry XSE. What is the price on this? The price on this one is MSRP $31,000. Now, I know you're probably saying, well, what are you getting for that? Just so you know, last year's model, there was a $1,200 option where you got a bunch of goodies. You actually get that included with this SE R-Line. What are some of those goodies? Like I pointed out earlier, the headlights up front, LED taillights. You're gonna get the Fender audio system. You're gonna get the same 6.3-inch infotainment system with navigation, and you're gonna get adaptive cruise control. So you are getting some more for the money without having to add that as an option on top of the price of this trim level. But let's see what else you get. To the door panels. The door panels are very German-esque, very Volkswagen. So there's a lot of black, but you know what? You could see that they attempted to do some things with some silver. So we got some nice silver on the door handle pull. You have some silver on the actual door handle to open up the door. And then there's some faux carbon fiber with some silver trim across the top. You know what? The carbon fiber trim doesn't look too shabby. I like the armrest, is very soft, and I like the way that they have some soft material on the back portion of the door and also at the top. Now, as we go from the door panel to the dash, very soft material. There's more of that nice silver finish from the door, more of that carbon fiber, that faux carbon fiber look. You know what? It's growing on me. At first I was like, but the pattern, it is kind of different than a lot of other faux carbon fiber style patterns. And what's the wonderful thing is that it covers up your fingerprints. So if you're paranoid about gloss black, this actually you could touch and there's no fingerprints. As we come to the center, you get a very tasteful looking AC vent. There's the Passat logo. I like that touch. Here's our 6.3-inch infotainment system. Now I'm gonna zonk this because I would like to see something larger, 7-inch, 8-inch. But what's great about it is that it's very easy to swipe through. You are gonna get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto with the navigation, so very quick reacting. It is a Fender system, which is nice, and very slim and trim here. As we come down, you have your AC controls, very easy to navigate through. That's a very nice touch, and it is dual climate. You can see the temperature differences here in the corners. A little bit of gloss black, and then you have some silver trim. Now here's where I love this kind of stuff. You have a nice lid. You open this up, USB, You got a nice cubby for your phone and a 12 volt in there. You close it up and it's nice and clean. There are quite a bit of dead buttons here. So these buttons don't do anything, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With that many, I would have liked to have seen just a nice straight panel to kind of blend in. Maybe some of that silver from up here would look really good down here. You do have a leather boot, which is very nice, covering the shifter. A little bit of leather on the actual shifter handle. Some nice brushed aluminum trim. This is that 6-speed automatic, and push button on Volkswagens is always down here, never up on the dash. 2 cup holders. Here is your Volkswagen key fob. That's gonna get you in and out and all that good stuff. Got a little tiny cubby here. Good old-fashioned e-brake. I like that, and I like the leather on the actual handle itself. And then I think that the placement of the armrest is perfect. It's nice and high. You open it up, another 12 volt in there. There isn't a USB. There's an actual blockage plate where a USB would go, so I'm gonna zonk that. I would like to see another USB here so I could keep maybe my phone in here and not have to worry about it up front. But it is a nice little deep storage area in there, very tastefully done. Close that up, and then the seats. I like the way they look, I like the design, and they're very supportive and comfortable. You can see how wide the back is to really fit a lot of different body types. Same with the bottom. Now you have manual controls for the passenger, but for the driver you do have full electric ability to adjust the seat, and then you got that sunroof up top. But why don't you come on over and I'll show you behind the wheel, the business end of this Volkswagen Passat. All right guys, time for the business end. Behind the wheel, I want to show you, I like these little touches that they do. Here's the R-Line logo. Very, very nice touch with the silver. You can see the full electric assist on the seat. Very nicely done, especially the lumbar section. And then the wheel. I think Volkswagen does some great work with their wheels. I love the design, flat bottom, love the shape. Thickness, it could just be a little bit thicker, but I actually like the actual placement of the 10 and 2 notches up here. You could see there's a little bit of gloss black, but the buttons are very nice and flush with a little bit of silver, that iconic logo staring you right in the face, and then the actual gauges, a pleasure. They look really tasteful, they look high quality, and it's not all digital stuff. So if you really want to have that analog feel, you're getting a beautiful tachometer, speedometer, and then you get the digital display in the center. Obviously it's telling us our doors are open, but there's other information as you're driving that you could toggle through, which is really nice. But that is a great feel. 6 feet tall, sitting in this car, even with the sunroof, I feel very comfortable. I feel like I'm ready to go for a drive. But before we do, let's go ahead and check out the back seat. All right guys, back seat time, where your passengers are gonna be sitting. You know what I like about the Passat, it's very easy, even for big old Joe Rady from Rady's Rides, to get in and out of the door, whether it's front or back. So that's definitely a big thumbs up. I like the space that I have back here. You can see I got plenty of leg room. Headroom is really good. I don't feel very claustrophobic. I think it was very smart to go with a lighter headliner, which is great. Seats are supportive. You got a nice little command center. Now it is a little on the cheap looking side, because I would like to see a little bit of silver trim, but you got your working AC vents, and look at this, 2 USBs, because they know, especially if you have a family, you're gonna have more than just one person probably sitting back here, and they're gonna wanna have access to that. Speaking of access, you flip this down. This is a little protective cover for the cup holders, but I promise you, look, there they are underneath. I better put that back before anybody yells at me from Reeves. We'll put that right nice, but nice soft. 2 cup holders, we'll flip it back. Overall, feeling great. Let's go ahead, check out the trunk, and see what kind of farfanugan we could have back there. All right, guys, like I say in many videos, probably one of the most important places for any car, especially if you have a family, is what kind of junk can we put in the trunk. Let's go ahead and open up the Passat. Watch this. This is probably one of the fastest opening trucks. The only faster trunk opening is the Alfa Romeo Giulia for sure. But very quick opening, and you can see, very impressive how wide the opening is. And that's something that when you're comparing this to a Camry or an Accord, you're gonna need to take those things into consideration. But very wide opening, very, very deep inside. You could do the 60-40 split with those seats, which is really nice. And I really do think that Volkswagen does a great job of making like these little extra cubbies on the side. Nice placement for everything. Great setup. If you're wondering what's in that little luggage bag, one thing that's great about Volkswagen is they want you to be safe. So what they have here, this is their little roadside assistance bag that has jumper cables, a little light up triangle if you're stuck on the side of the road. So that's always a nice thing to see. Or you can just walk around and say, hey, what kind of car do I got? I got a Volkswagen. So that's kind of a nice touch. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up. All right, guys, we're in the 2019 Volkswagen Passat SE R-Line. We left Reeves Volkswagen, and you know what? This car is so smooth driving. I like the amount of room that you have in this cabin, especially for the driver and the passenger. With the dash being so far forward, it really just opens up this whole space. It's nice to have the sunroof, especially when you attach a GoPro to it. It gives you a little bit of a bird's eye view. Great seating position. I think that you'll be able to find for everybody, and the seats are very supportive. Especially I like the lower portions because they really cradle your hamstrings nicely. Steering wheel grip is good. I just wish it was a little bit thicker, but overall I like the feel of it. Visibility out the front windshield is excellent, back and sides, and just very smooth overall. This has that six-speed automatic transmission, which you can use the paddles to shift through if you wanted to. I don't think many people, though, are probably going to go that route. They're probably just going to shift, let the automatic shift itself. Very, very smooth driving. That's one thing I've noticed right away with this Passat. Let's see how it handles through this little twisty section here. I'm going to go around this water. Even over that bump, very smooth. Brakes feel great. I almost feel like it feels like a smaller car. You know, this is a little bit larger car. It's larger obviously than a Jetta, but it doesn't feel large on its feet. It feels like a smaller car, and I like that. Let's see how it handles back in this section. Very nice. Great feedback from the front of the car, and I think that's where Volkswagen gets huge dividends in return, is with their great engineering of their cars. You get excellent feedback from the front end, and it really shows. Overall, everywhere I look, everywhere I touch, it feels good. I feel comfortable, and I felt planted too. Going through that twisty section, you feel planted, and that's a good thing to have as you're driving, because it's going to help you feel safe and you're going to feel in control. All right, guys, let me do a little bit of an acceleration test here from a roll on throttle. On the brakes, feels great. Very smooth. Even though this isn't a DSG, it does shift very, very smooth. And it's very quiet in here, which is great too. Back through this section, I like the way it holds a gear for you very nicely. On the brakes, over this little bump, soaks it up, feels good. I really think that when you drive this Passat, it's gonna surprise you. Very nice. Great feedback. That's the best thing I can say about this car. You're getting great feedback, and that's surprising because it is a little bit larger car, and I was not expecting that. It's very nice to see that and to have that for sure. Just gonna go ahead and make a little bit of a U-turn here. I think another thing I really like about this is the frameless mirror. I think that's a thing that needs to be in all cars across the lineup of every brand, because it makes looking out the front windshield so much nicer, because it really cleans up your vision. You're not distracted by anything. Back through this little twisty section here. Very nice. Nice and smooth. Seat is great. I'm really surprised by this Passat, I'll be honest with you. Even over the speed humps, no drama whatsoever. And I think the best part of it is that if you need to carry a bunch of stuff with you, you have a ton of room in that trunk. That's another wonderful thing about this, to where you don't have to go get a Volkswagen Atlas or a Tiguan or a Touareg. you could drive your Passat, have that lower center of gravity, have a wonderful driving experience, and put a lot of stuff in the back. But we're gonna go ahead, hopefully this gave you enough feedback about the feedback with a Passat, this SE R-Line. We're gonna wrap this up and get back to Reeves Volkswagen, so I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, been a wonderful day here at Reeves Volkswagen. Definitely got to give a huge thank you and a shout out to Zach and Steve and everybody here at the dealership allowing us access to these great Volkswagen products that they have for you. If these are the types of things that you like to see on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on this channel, click the link in the description. It'll take you right to Spreadshirt. Get yourself some merch. Every bit helps. It goes a long way. Speaking of going a long way, O'Neill stepping in for Big Guns McGee. Big Guns is on a vacation for a month. I know a lot of people do that, right? But O'Neill is here, getting the business done, working the camera like a champ. He's starting to up his protein intake, and he's also carrying around some plate weights. So thank you, O'Neill, for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.